Hi, we are Alberto, Marcelo, and Natalia, and we'll be presenting a paper by Michael Correll titled Towards the Theory of Bullshit Visualization. In both the academic and popular literature, a lot has been written about bad visualizations and about intentionally lying with data. However, the author's main point is that the problem with a lot of visualizations isn't even that they're intentionally trying to misrepresent the data. It's simply that they're unnecessary and have no reason for existing. The author briefly summarizes the two major failure modes for data visualization. The first kind of failure are visualizations which are hard to read or illegible. Examples of these are the rainbow color map or 3D pie charts. The problem with rainbow color maps is that the color scale is highly non-monotonic, and that changes in lightness are very non-uniform, which makes it hard for the user to intuitively distinguish high values from low values. And the problems with 3D pie charts are mainly because of perspective distortion and the fact that the third dimension is not adding any information. The second kind of failure are deceptive visualizations, some examples of which are caused by reversed or truncated axes. The problem with reversed axes is that when it is unexpected, it may cause the reader to conclude the opposite of what the data actually shows, and the problem with truncated axes is that they exaggerate effect sizes. However, the author argues that these two kinds of failures are just a small part of what can make a visualization fail to work. For example, it's trivial to produce visualizations that are both legible and not intentionally misleading, and that still fail to genuinely be useful. Bullshit charts are those which are created for no apparent purpose and that serve no useful end. The author then goes on to present a series of examples of bullshit visualizations, which can be roughly grouped into two main categories: charts as decoration and charts to impress. Charts as decoration are those made to lend an air of authority to the data, to make the data look more trustworthy and scientific. Take the chart on the left, for example. Why did it need to be plotted? It could have been entirely replaced by the sentence, Widgetco sold approximately 9 million widgets in Q1. The bar chart adds nothing. The rule of thumb here is that if your visualization could be replaced by, for example, a photo of an arrow going up or down without changing the intended message, then it's probably a bullshit visualization. Since the author's entire point is that these kinds of charts shouldn't exist in the first place, it makes no sense for us to critique their choice of marks and channels, for example. Charts to impress, on the other hand, are those meant to be marveled at, to be perceived as doing complex and sophisticated work, but that don't guide any action or represent any insight. An example of this given by the author is what he calls the spectacular dashboard, a dashboard with lots of bells and whistles, which is only meant to be looked at and to convince you that there is all this big and complex data somewhere. To conclude with a quote from the author, whenever you make a chart of whatever data you have on hand without checking to see if it is relevant, useful, or accurate for the goals you have in mind, a bullshit visualization is sure to follow.